Hello, everyone! Before today's episode, a quick disclaimer. Please ignore the jingling noise in RJ Saam's audio. It was for a religious purpose that the bangles were kept on, and so we couldn't really help it. We apologize for the inconvenience caused. Nevertheless, the episode is still as entertaining as they always are. So enjoy the episode! Go. Aloha everyone
And welcome back to
The Generation Gap.
Yeah.
This is the only lighthearted podcast starring two giggly girls gathering people from different generations to discuss some not so lighthearted topics. Today's hello wasn't Samoan. I think that's how you pronounce it. Alright, so guys, before we begin, hope you guys heard our last episode. Is adult life easier than teenage life? And actually, I have to say this, a big thank you to all of those who gave us feedback and showed us so much love. And a lot of y'all told us that listening to the podcast kind of kindled some friendly debates with your parents. So, thank you for that.
If you didn't listen to it yet, go listen to it. Link
Yeah.
in the description.
Yeah. Alright, so guys, anyways, today we're here to talk about a very intense topic, a very serious topic.
Yes.
The topic for today's episode is toxic beauty standards. Wow. Okay, so this one's actually kind of inspired by one of our earlier episodes in which we spoke about insecurities with Vaina and Natasha D. So if you haven't heard that, go listen to it. We're doing too many plugs today. Okay, anyways, let's get off that and get back to today's conversation. Okay, so let's introduce our wonderful guest for today. Our first guest is a student from Gen Z, currently studying psychology at the Christ University in Bangalore. Please welcome Miss Nhanthini.
Hi. So yeah, this is Nandini.
Hello.
It's great to be here. I'm quite excited.
Thank you so much for coming.
Welcome. It's my pleasure.
Our next guest is a phenomenal RJ at Radio Mirchi. Joining us on the panel, we have RJ Saam or Miss Samiksha, also a numerologist and tarot card reader from Gen Y.
Woohoo!
And good morning, whoever's listening at whatever time. Hi, this is RJ Saam.
Yeah, correct. Guys, we're so excited to have you guys. Okay, so as you all know, today's topic is toxic beauty standards. So to begin the conversation, I think I just want to establish enough is enough. That's the first thing that you have to say, because in today's world of social media, everyone is so overly indulged in like these beauty standards that the media and all these celebrities have been just falsely glorifying for so long. And it's literally reached this point that it's difficult to find anyone who can confidently say, yes, I love my body without just second guessing themselves.
Yeah, this whole world is like all about fair skin, a flat. I can't even speak, Lord. A flat tummy, like you have to be tall. You shouldn't have acne, or like.
It's all just like building a world of plastics.
Yeah.
Plastics, like the Mean
Mean
Girls. Regina George. Okay, anyways. So then, so Nandini, since you're studying psychology, I think I'd like to start by asking you. So, what is your take on all of these like beauty standards? Because everyone you see, from young children to teenagers or even adults, they're all affected by these, right? So, what is your take on all of these toxic beauty standards?
Yeah, so toxic beauty standards. It's wonderful of you guys to brought up such topic, which is the very need of the hour. I feel so. As said, enough is enough, and it is like the global epidemic. These toxic beauty standards are present everywhere, irrespective of gender and culture, and obviously culture plays a major role, but it's just globally widespread. I see it especially in most of my college friends, adolescent teenage girls, it's very, very extremely prevalent, and it just spoils their confidence, their esteem, their belief in themselves, and self-love is the last to, in fact, it just crumbles them into someone whom they can't even recognize anymore. So I see like a lot of people who are extremely self-conscious, beauty conscious, which is healthy to a certain extent, but it is too much obsessed these days. So I feel it is some social epidemic which we all need to talk about and clear it off. So yeah.
Yeah, very correct. Yeah, that's very true what she said. Social epidemic. That's correct. It's literally like, one that's been going on from years and there's no solution to it as of now. Yeah. Miss Sam, what do you have to say?
So I think all of you would agree with me that where these toxic beauty standards come from, I think it comes from parenting. It's the way that you're brought up. The first step of this toxic beauty standards start from your house. It's from the very first day you start, and your mom comes in your room. Like, it's something very personal I'm going to share. Like, my mom always used to come and she always used to say, look at you, how fat you are. Now when you guys see me, I have very chubby cheeks. So I have recently. I know.
Obviously, you look beautiful.
I know that I'm pretty and I'm gorgeous. I know that. But again, to come at this stage wherein you can say to yourself that you're pretty and gorgeous, you gotta work on yourself way too hard. And when you come from a house wherein every person keeps telling you, listen, you gotta control your weight. Look at you, why are you wearing this clothes? And you're very fair, you shouldn't be wearing such dark clothes, you're very any other color, you shouldn't be wearing this. Where does it come from? Where the seed come from? It comes from parenting. It comes from the house that you're brought up in. The first thing it comes in your mind is, oh, my father says this, oh, my mother says this, oh, my brother says this. Coming to your friends, coming to the guys you date, coming to the girls you date, it's a very later stage in your life. These toxic standards, I think they come from your home. They come way back from your home. You're just stuck with them in your mind that, your parents keep telling you, lose weight, you need to look good, wear certain kind of clothes, or, any other aspect of your life. I think Nhanthini will agree with me. She's a psychology student. And in psychology, I think the first thing they teach you is everything's connected to your parenting. It comes down to the point zero of parenting. Right, Nhanthini?
Sure. Yeah. It makes absolute sense, and I totally agree with you. And especially being in collectivistic societies like India, or in any other where we are taught to live along with people. So in such societies, the pressure is even more. So culture plays a major part, as I said earlier. So in such societies, the pressure is even more. And as you said, there's one part wherein obviously the body image issues, and it all starts right from the home, because the child, it doesn't know anything, right? It doesn't know anything. So when you were a child, you didn't mind you were naked, or you were like crawling, you had belly fat, you had chubby cheeks, nothing mattered. Yeah, right? Saliva will be pouring down and you wouldn't matter, because that isn't one of your concerns. If people are looking or they're gossiping, that's the least you're bothered about. But when you grow up, there are a lot of remarks. As you said, there are very open, outright remarks like, you look fat, you look thin, or, oh yeah, there's this thing. People who look fat, they're very fat. People who look thin, they aren't eating anything. That's the misconception people have, right?
Exactly.
But it's a big gap, yeah. Weight and eating, they share a very small link, I guess. It doesn't always, every time it's directly connected.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there's the subtle.
Exactly. That's the first thing that anyone says.
Yeah.
You're eating too much or you're eating
Exactly.
too little.
If someone is even very thin, maybe I have so many friends who eat so much, but they're very thin. It's their personal choice. I'm not someone to comment on it. But outright, when a stranger sees them, their first remark would be like, it seems like you're not even eating. They don't have anything to do with it, yeah, right? So the first comment
They say, my good God, you eat so much. Trust me, I don't eat so much.
And even if you eat so much, it's something you should be concerned about. Okay, if they are concerned about your health, they can tell that in a right way, right? They can be like, you can do some exercise, or in a more caring manner. Who tells that matters? If your mom, if my mom comes and tell me like, I guess like you're more sedentary, maybe you can work out a bit, that shows concern, okay, because she's concerned about my health. But if some stranger comes and tells, just looking at me the first glance, he or she is like, oh my god, you're like, you eat so much. And something, a common misconception they make, right? In a crowd of people, if someone is a bit chubby, they'll be like, oh no, I won't give it to you, or you might grab it from me, is something, a common misconception people have. Yeah, and again, as we talked earlier, there's this outright comments and there's subtle comments wherein like color, skin tone, right? Body weight, how major issue, similar to that, skin tone plays a major role. So when people comment like, even though you're dark, you look beautiful, that is outright discrimination, right?
It's not a compliment.
Yeah, that isn't a
Exactly.
compliment.
That's so.
An uninvited criticism, who cares? That's not your zone to comment on.
Exactly. I know. It's ridiculous how people feel like they have the full right to go ahead and comment on someone else's body. Like, please mind your own business.
Exactly, the audacity people have, right? The first comment they make when you look at you.
But then again, we guys have been giving that opportunity to people to comment on us. Like, we haven't been taught this way. Whenever any relative come over or any friends come over, and if they give any kind of comment to you, have we ever shunned them down? I don't think so. We have never shunned them down that, hey, look, I'm looking very nice and pretty, or I'm not fat or thin or dark or white. The first thing any relative who goes to meet you after so long, so I belong to Punjab, and in Punjabis they come and say, and they're like, khate peete ghar ke hone chahiye, which means that you should come from a healthy and a wealthy family where you got to look chubby and nice and stuff. So even if you're thin, coming from this background, the first thing they'll say is that, don't your parents give you food? In front of your parents they'll say this. And neither of us have the audacity to tell them, dude, you're in my house, sing this to me. But no, we don't say this, so we give them the right to comment on us. I think again it comes down to childhood, it comes down to parenting, because we have never been taught. We have never
Exactly.
been taught to, shun people down. Me being in 4 years in this industry where I've been handling trolling every day of my life, being an influencer, I have learned this in 4 years. Otherwise, if you would ask me back then, before 4 years, I never said anybody anything. I used to be like, oh, I'll eat. Oh, yes, I think I've gained weight. Oh, I think I'm looking fat. So I think we've never been taught that.
I think the major part of adulting is about unlearning and relearning.
Okay, so it's very interesting talking to you guys, and now we're gonna go on to a different aspect of related to these toxic beauty standards. So when Nivya and I were reading about this topic, we came across a lot of anecdotes that mentioned how toxic beauty standards lead to people developing eating disorders. So, people who are very skinny, they will like go on a binge eating diet where they're eating as much as unhealthy food all day long, trying to gain weight, and other people who are trying to lose weight eat like 300 calories a day, or just like live on water or something like that, just because they think that's a secret to a good body, right? So a lot of people just think that starving yourself or like food is the ultimate secret to that great body, but as Nandini said, I don't agree with that. It's just a very tiny like thing that plays a role in it. But do you guys think that eating disorders and these toxic beauty standards have a direct link or connection to them?
Yeah, they play a very, very major role, I would say. Coming from a psychology background, eating disorders, there are major two types of eating disorders. We call it as anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa. So there's this one cycle wherein they binge and purge. That is, they binge a lot. It is like a kind of addiction I see it as a kind of obsession and addiction, wherein there is this, eating is more related to emotions basically. So there is this void which you try to fill by eating in, because that is something you can control, and there are these emotions which aren't under your control. So you try to fill that void by eating, and then there's this phase of guilt, and you hate it, the heaviness within there. So you just try to purge it by self-induced vomiting or using something else. So you binge and purge. Or there's this other type wherein you starve yourself, you excessively you do a lot of excessive exercises beyond your range, and you know you're weak, you even faint, but you refuse to eat because the sense of guilt when you see the food, it's extreme. So you're not able to eat the food because you can't, it makes you feel so guilty. So this is something, a brief about eating disorders. So I've interacted with few people with eating disorders. Each one have their own reasons how it developed. So each one is individuals have their own reasons for different things. But one thing which is common is about comparison at home, as we started, right? So that is something which can be a reason, like for eating disorders, and this toxic body image in common which they share is comparison at home, sibling comparison, cousins comparison, and bullying at school, wherein they are made to feel like giving nicknames, like even teachers sometimes they are very insensitive to this, right? They call someone as an identification like fat, fatty, or something like that in their vernacular names. They just use something, a nickname like that. That plays a major role. And this societal standards, again, as we mentioned earlier, the social media, it plays a major role. So someone who has a low self-esteem, maybe because of some other reasons, or maybe because of body image issues, and when they see someone, a social media influencer with 1 million followers who has a zero size body, so the immediate association which they make is like, because they're having zero size body, so many people are with them. So even if I have the same similar body type, I will get so many friends, or people will start respecting me. So that is an inherent, that inner self-esteem issues. Yeah, which is absolutely not true, because obviously social media is full of it isn't the whole life which we share in there, which is just
Exactly.
sugar-coated life which we share, right?
Yeah,
We don't tell our the days which we
polished,
cried.
perfect.
Yeah,
Typically
we tell the days
beautiful.
that we laughed and
Exactly.
The Instagram aesthetics are neat and clean.
Yes,
Instagram
exactly.
You know, the first hashtag you see in those is an Instagram aesthetic, how nicely they have gridded your profiles, one reel, one photo, one hashtag, and how nicely. I wish our lives were so easy, and you know, we could also grid it in a way.
Oh, how simple would life be if everything was like that?
that's why people
But all
love
this-
Instagram, because again, it's we can't grid our lives, so we can grid something which we can, and we just find pleasure in that. And instead, we just forget about the life which we have to actually bring under our
Exactly.
control, or just enjoy. We just forget about it. So yeah, regarding eating disorders, it plays a very close association, but not for everyone, but majority. It plays a very close association between this toxic body image and media standards and eating habits.
So I personally think that because of the big brands who have been marketing their products in a such nice way, that again we come back to our insecurities. We need zero size figures. Everyone, actually, we don't even need zero size. It's just the proper shape of the body. You know how these days they want the curve. They want the shape. If you'll ask anybody about zero size, then also they'll be like, nahi, 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 hum bahut patle hain, you know, we're very thin, or we're very fat. They want proper arcs of their body, like 36, 24, 36, you know, the perfect body figure which everyone keeps talking about. So have you guys recently seen that how these brands have started selling their eating products like chia seeds and pumpkin seeds, and you know, these cornflakes and chocos and oats, and how never had I ever heard about these things from past 5 years, I don't think before 5 years I used to think about these things, that you have to drink water with chia seeds, and then only you'll be able to lose weight, or honey with milk. Were our parents fool? Were they not, were they not thin, or were they not in perfect shape? I think I still remember my mom always had the perfect figure. And she never used to do anything. She never used to drink these chia seeds or these pumpkin seeds or whatnot these guys sell these days, in the name of toxic beauty standards, that this is how you need to eat four nuts in the morning and 4 nuts in the evening. What all are we guys learning these? It's all influence from Western Western standards. That I remember when I was on diet, my dietitian used to tell me that, hey, you're not supposed to eat chapati, you're not supposed to eat wheat, and wheat helps you gain weight. And I was like, what all Western influence are we putting it, that in Western countries, you don't get to eat wheat so much. They're living on bread, they're living on pizzas, pastas, and all the junk food that they have been, and all of these oats and vegan products, whatever. It's a personal choice by everybody. Whatever they wish to eat, they can. But marketing it in such a way that it makes you insecure, that if you're not drinking certain kind of water or certain kind of milk, what's all these almond milk these days, or fat loss milks, and you gotta drink these milks only. You shouldn't be drinking cow milk or buffalo milk because they are full of fat. You shouldn't be drinking those. Again, you come with those beauty standards because you're having a full fat milk, you'll gain weight. It's directly associated with each other. Because you're having a full cake, you will get fat. And you need to have a banana, then only you'll be able to gain weight. For the people who don't gain weight, how your eating habits are directly proportionate to the toxic beauty standards. And if you see in those beauty standards, how they use food, use papaya mask, use tomato mask on your face, and how aloe vera gel will help you help with a glowing skin. If you use the actual plant of aloe vera, that's acceptable, that's very nice, very good for your skin. But when you mix it in your products and then put it on a platter and put an MRP of like $500 that this is the best product you need to use, I think that's sheer stupidity. And we people believe also.
That is like,
I mean, people who go to gym for their bodies, their gym instructors also tell them, eat a certain kind of food only, then only you will be able to have a good body. 4 eggs are must, and they should be boiled. They should be this in this category. And people who are vegetarian, they'll be like, oh, you don't need to have paneer. You need to have paneer. Otherwise, you need to have chicken. Then only you'll be able to make body. But they sell you in such a way that इसके बिना तो आप पतले हो ही नहीं सकते. Without this, you can't lose weight.
yeah. And there's also this one misconception which I would like to say, like about perfect body, right? There isn't one perfect body type, because there's, first of all, there's several body types. So there are some people who have round body types. So no matter how much they exercise or whatever they do, they are going to have that body type. That's not going to change. And you can't starve yourself to change it to a zero size fit. And for some people, they have pure type body, or different ones wherein the upper body is bigger and the lower body is smaller, or the upper body is small and the lower body is bigger. So it's their body type. That is something which we need to embrace and not like question about and try to change, because that is something we're born with, and we should appreciate the difference in this, right? Instead of trying to fit everyone into one size fits all.
Exactly. You're perfect the way you are.
Exactly. We all know we are perfect the way we are. We are just made to learn we aren't perfect, and then we take a lifetime to unlearn it and relearn everything.
Okay, for this final segment, we're gonna discuss the unspoken aspect of these toxic beauty standards. It's the beauty myth for the boys and men. Like, how much they're affected by the society and how they need to be masculine and they need to have an attractive body.
So, like, it's something that's very sidelined, that even men and the male gender is so affected by these toxic beauty standards. But I think it's very much there and it's very much alive, and I think that's also something that we should speak about. So, what do you guys think about how men are like affected by these toxic beauty standards?
That is like definitely something we should speak about, because it is like double oppression there, because as we say, like even when we say even men are being affected by it, we make it as a big sense because we don't know they're being affected, because they're not allowed to talk about it. They're not allowed to make, at least we can at least say, oh my god, I feel so in something. They're able to voice it out in a much because it makes us feel vulnerable, but men are told they shouldn't be vulnerable, so it's even more harder for them to accept it and voice it out. So one thing which I think is like facial hair, basically, that is something a toxic beauty standard, I would say, because if you don't have mustache or beard, I mean, if you're not able to grow mustache or beard, it is seen as a big threat to masculinity. They're made to feel like you aren't man enough, but it is something biological. For some, puberty hits earlier, for some puberty hits later, and for some it is something they don't get to grow it, and it's okay the way they are. But the facial hair, it makes them question their masculinity, and their self-esteem is very deeply bothered because of it. And it's reverse in the case of guys. I feel the skinny they are, the more what comments they get. They're made to feel like guys should be muscular and strong, not skinny, whereas strength doesn't have to do anything with the size of your body. There are so many thin people who are very strong, and muscular people who can't do anything, and it doesn't matter that way. But they're made to feel like you are supposed to protect your herd, and you're skinny and you're not able to do it. So everything, it goes to the questioning their masculinity for them. That's what I think. So it's harder for them to even speak it up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Even I believe that. And personally, I think I have seen a change in past 1 year in social media regarding men, that men have tried speaking up, men have tried coming out. But again, I think again when a man goes for a facial, or a man goes for a cream or a pack, if he wants to take care of himself, he has to answer so many questions. For example, it comes from your house कि लड़की की तरह क्यों तैयार हो रहा है, why are you getting dressed like a girl, these things girls only do. Men don't get ready, men don't get facials, men don't use these kind of creams, and you're acting like a woman if you want to use 3 kind of shampoos and conditioners. Use one shampoo na and get over it. So they generally get to hear these kind of things in their daily life. And I remember I interviewed a very famous makeup artist in my town, and I had a word with him on this topic, and he told me that how they are looked down upon if they want to get a manicure and a pedicure. How tough it is for them to even go into a parlor and ask for a mani and a pedicure. And we girls, we are luxury, we have that luxury with us that we can get ourselves pampered, but men don't. Usually they have been looked down about that. Oh my god, you're going to get a manicure and a pedicure? I mean, girls do that, men don't do that. Men have rough hands, girls have soft hands. These are the notions that people have created around them, and even if they want to, they are not allowed to speak, because we have always told them that you're not supposed to express, you should keep things to yourself. And secondly, beauty has always been related to girls, it has never been related to men. And even if men try, they're always looked down upon, always.
Yeah.
Correct. I think it's also like really present in the way that they dress. Like, men are supposed to dress a certain way. I was reading this one article, and in that, they were mentioning about how in the Oscars, you'll see like every actor in a nice tuxedo. It's just a suit that they have to wear. That's how you look posh. And I feel like, there's so much to do in men's fashion. But then again, if you see, like, a good example is Ranveer Singh. He's the Bollywood actor, for people who don't know. He's the one who's like defying all the stereotypes, wearing, like, creating new men's fashion that's never seen before. But the amount of people that hate on him for that thing shows why so many people are so like hesitant to like so many male people are so hesitant to experiment with their fashion sense, because men are supposed to be a certain way, they're supposed to dress like this, they're supposed to wear a shirt, a tie. That's just something that I feel like it's also like kind of limiting their creativity, because us women, girls, we are allowed to do so much with fashion. And if you see some celebrity walking the red carpet in a very different outfit that's never been seen before, she's praised like, wow, that's something very bold that she's wearing, that's different.
Yeah.
But I think we are the people who defend our men when they try something different. If one of your male best friends come wearing something different, you will be the first one to pinpoint him. We'll be the first one who will say, what are you wearing? Where are you going? Where do you think? Why are you wearing these shorts to a birthday party? You're not supposed to wear these shorts. Go wear a pant. And I absolutely agree to your point that men don't experiment, but then we are the people who degrade them. And I to agree, I to put it on myself that I do. I absolutely do, and I have no hesitant in saying it that I do. If my brother comes out experimenting different things, I would be the first one who would say this, that what are you wearing?
That's
please
very,
go
very
and change.
true.
And I think we have forgotten the term called acceptance. We don't accept only, we're like, we don't do it. Society does it. We don't do it.
Something which
Yeah, that
slightly
denial is
deviates
always
from
there.
normality is termed like bizarre. It isn't something which we
Yeah.
try to come in terms with. It's very, and we as products of the society which we blame, we just take forward, we inherit all the traits which were imposed on us and pass it on to others, right? That is the chain which we should focus on breaking. That is something which we should work on, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So to just end today's episode, I think we just need to reiterate on how we can prevent ourselves from getting affected by these toxic beauty standards. And I think the solution is kind of like, we see the same thing in every article that we read. But I think it's important to define it over and over again, because it's really you who can like change your own perspective about yourself. So what do you guys think?
I feel like self-awareness is the first step for everything. We talk self-love, obviously we say love yourself, but it's very wide term, and I can't just 10 years of hating myself and I wake up one day and I think I love myself. It doesn't happen just like that, right? So it's a very gradual process. So that is something which we should be aware of. So self-awareness is more like we are taught so many things like this, that, and that. So as I'm emphasizing from the beginning, unlearning. So a self-awareness is like, if I want to wear lipstick, okay, it's a very simple thing, but it's more like questioning myself, like, why do I want to do it? Is it because I really want to do it? Is it because, then I can obviously go for it, there's nothing harm in it. Or is it because like, only if I wear it, I look pretty, or only if I wear it, I'll be acceptable. If I'm doing it for that, then I need to break the cycle, because this is something which I'll be carrying forward. If I don't break it right here, right now, then I'll be imposing it on someone else who isn't wearing a lipstick, telling them like, go wear, like only then you'll be looking beautiful. So self-awareness, I feel, is the first step, and self-love is the final pinnacle of the journey. Okay, so it's a long way, but obviously we can get there. It isn't as tough, but it is a long journey, and one step a day and one change at a time, obviously we'll be there. And second one is acceptance, as what we were emphasizing. Like as much as you accept yourself, the same thing which we need to do to others too. Someone who's different from us, we need to be able to give them the safe space and comfort to express themselves and accept them, which will in turn create effect, like chain effect, and someone else can carry forward the acceptance you gave to someone else. And just to add on one more small thing, choose your crowd. As she was telling, like, Even if you're not, if you're showing your real self and people are not following you, it's okay. It's the kind of people you should be away from.
Yes.
So they aren't supposed to be around you.
Very well said. Okay, yes. So I think with that we can conclude this episode. It was really, really fun talking to you guys. Thank you so much for coming today.
Exactly.
Oh, thank you
I had
so
an amazing
much.
time here.
Big fans of both of you.
Yes. To spread awareness about this topic and to curb their effect, please share it with all of your friends and family.
Yep. So thank you so much for listening and have a great day or a great night if you're listening to this in the night. But bye.